when it comes to writing, I'm like, oh, I should probably let the truth in a little bit here. And I think a measured amount of that is good. I think that it's not like, I'm not just an idiot living on a hill in Nova Scotia who's just writing about what happened to him that day. I mean, there's artifice in the composition, you know, of things. There's ways that you structure things to make things more beautiful, obviously. And I think the composition kind of makes that happen in a certain way. But at the same time, I seem to be powerless to keep my worries. I'm a worrying guy.
Take us through some of the songwriting process. You know, you're sitting out to write a song. How does it happen for you most often? I mean, is there a standard way or is it all different ways?
Most of the time, the songwriting process, I mean, it's work really in a way, but it's work that usually comes out of really, I try to practice to get better at my instrument, and for whatever reason, if I discover something in the instrument that surprises me, most often it will suggest a lyric which will take me away from getting better at my instrument. You know, I mean, ultimately I'll follow that thing to the song instead of, you know, and that seems to be the bias of a songwriter like myself, you know, like is that I'm sort of interested in the instrument, I'm interested in music, but at the end of the day, when I hear something that sort of tweaks, oftentimes I'll play it. Oftentimes I think it's really cool. I don't know. Another way, losing track of myself, but that is sort of what I follow. But usually the song won't start until there's at least some kind of free associative lyric that's sitting in some kind of melodic hook or little bit that's existing in time in a way that's thrilling.
I find that these songs have a sense of durability and a sense of timelessness. Do you go in with that in mind, saying, you know what, I don't want to write something that's going to date, I want to write something that lasts?
Yeah, well, ultimately I feel like the song that I try to write is a song that hasn't been written. You know, I'm not looking for a good version of a song that exists or an excellent version. You know, if I could write ABBA songs, I probably would, but I seem by focus to, I don't look at what I do much differently than that, I imagine, but in terms of durability, I tend to focus on the classic, I tend to focus on the narrative, I tend to focus on some maybe outdated notion that there's some degree of truth that I can impart, because ultimately a lot of what I'm writing for is you know, because I'm not selling tons of records or you know, perhaps, you know, or whatever, I'm sort of imagining singing the song to you, you know, and so I need the song to be able to translate and be that you can sort of follow it, or at least get enough out of it in the first listen. I think with a narrative song, you don't need to know exactly what's happening. It's just like there's such a low value on lyric at the moment, I think, and I don't think with having a high quality of lyric, you're making things tedious, because I don't think you can actually hear a lyric in the first listen anyway. If I think about the songs that I love, usually I only fill in the lyric after many, many listens.